Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll begin today's reading. Today's reading is Raj Vidya book, Srila Prabhupada's Raj Vidya book name, chapter number 6. So we'll read last week's summary. So before we begin, we offer prayers. Om Adnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So last week summary points are like this. First point is Vedic knowledge is ancient and eternal. It is not a recent discovery. It has existed for millions of years. Second point is Krishna taught Bhagavad Gita long before human history, even to the sun god, showing his eternal nature. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, is not like humans. He remembers all his past appearances. Living beings are also eternal, but they forget their past lives because they change their material bodies. Forgetfulness is the nature of conditioned souls caused by identification with the material body. Krishna does not change his body. That's why he remembers his past, he remembers present, and even he remembers the future events. Why Krishna remembers his past? Because he does not change his body. And the conditioned soul, we change our bodies, that's what we forget. Rebirths happen according to karma, actions, and the three modes of nature goodness, fashion, and ignorance. Material nature is temporary, full of suffering, while the soul is eternal, full of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. Krishna appears, incarnates by his own will, not under the material laws, like the living beings, the conditioned soul. They forced to send to this material world. God is the seed giving, Krishna is the seed giving father of all living beings. He comes out of love to God, guide humanity back to Him, to His own abode. So these are the few important points from the last week's session. So we'll continue with this week's session. God is very compassionate. He wishes to see he wishes to see our misery ceases. See, God, Krishna here is claiming He's a father. He's a seed-giving father to all the beings. So no father likes to see his no sons suffering, their miserable condition. So here also Krishna also same because he is our eternal father. He wishes to see our miseries ceases. But we are trying to adjust these miseries because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We are not meant for these miseries, but somehow or other we have voluntarily accepted them. There are miseries arising from body and mind, from other living entities, and from natural catastrophe. We are either suffering from all three these miseries, or at least from one. We are always trying to make a solution of these miseries, and this attempt constitute our struggle for existence. That solution cannot be made by our tiny brain. It can be made only when we take to the shelter of the Supreme Lord. When we take shelter of the Supreme Lord, then only the miseries we can end our suffering. We can happy we can become happy when we are reinstated in our constitutional position. And Bhagavad Gita is meant to reinstate us in that position. God and his representative also come to help. As stated previously, they descend upon the material world from the superior nature and not subject to the laws of birth, old age, disease, and death. Krishna gives Arjuna the following reasons for his descent upon the world. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. In order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. Here Krishna says that he comes when there is a decline in dharma. The Sanskrit word dharma has been translated in English as faith, but faith has come to mean a religious system that goes under the name of Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, etc. But the word dharma does not have the same meaning as faith. The faith an individual may change from Hindu to Buddhist to Christian to Muslim, etc. People have the ability to accept one faith and reject another. But dharma cannot be changed. Here Prabhupada is saying our faith can be changed, but dharma cannot be changed. But in the English dictionary, dharma translated as faith, but that is not the actually translation because faith can be changed at any time. Today, one person is Hindu, tomorrow he can change it to Christian, one Christian can change it to the Hindu. So, this is faith. Our faith is flickering. Faith can change at any time, but dharma will not change. Prabhupada gives an example just like water. What is the dharma of a water? It is a liquid. When it is a solid, it is not the dharma of, is not a constitutional position of a water. The another example Prabhupada gives is the sugar. Sugar dharma is a sweetness. If it is tasting is bitter or pungent, it is no more sugar. The sugar dharma is to taste sweet. So similarly, here Prabhupada is saying this our human beings dharma cannot be changed, unlike the faith. It is the nature of every individual to render service either to himself, his family, his community, nation, or to humanity at large. This rendering of service cannot in any way be diverse from the living entity, and it is this that constitute the dharma of every living being. Every living being's constitutional position is to serve. Somebody serves a family, somebody serves to community, nation, or humanity at large. This is the dharma of a human being. Without rendering service, one cannot exist. Just like I said, sugar's dharma is to is sweetness. If it is not sweet, it is pungent or it is spice, then it is no more sugar. So, similarly, a human being's dharma is to render service. If it is not, then without rendering service, one cannot exist only. So, every human being, you can say, either is serving his family members, or is serving himself, or is serving to community, or little more the nation, or nobody else and you will serve one pet or like cat or dog, like that. The word goes on because we are all rendering and exchanging service. We must forget whether we are Christian, Muslim, or Hindu, and we must understand that we are living entities whose constant position is to render service to the supreme living entity. When we reach the stage of understanding, we are liberated. Liberation is freedom from temporary designations which we have acquired from association with material nature. Liberation is nothing more than this. Because we have material bodies, we take on we have material bodies, we take on so many designations. Thus, we call ourselves a man, a parent, an American, a Christian, Hindu, etc. These designations should be abandoned if we at all want to become free. Here Prabhupada is saying if we want to become free, we have to abandon these designations. One has to come out of these designations. What is the designations? Here says like if I'm a man, a parent, an American, a Hindu, a Christian, a manager. No, these are all designations, and one has to come out of all these upadhis. It said Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Sarva Upadhi, these all are upadhis, these are designations. So one has to come out of all these upadhis. Under no circumstances we master. We are at present serving, but we are serving with designations. We are the servants of a wife, of a family, of a job, of our own senses, of our children. And if we have no children, we become servants of our cats and dogs. In any case, we must have something to serve. If we have no wife or child, we have to catch some dog or lower animals in order to serve it. That is our nature. We are compelled to do it. When we at last become free from these designations and begin to render transcendental loving service to the Lord, we attain our perfectional stage. We then become established in our true dharma. What is our true dharma? Our true dharma is to render transcendental loving service to the Lord. So at present, we have forgotten, but we have our dharma towards like wife, to family, to a job. If no one is there, towards cat and dog, we are serving. So when we want to come out of this, what we have to do? We have to render service to Lord Krishna. That is our constitutional position. Thus, Sri Krishna says that he appears whenever there is a discrepancy in the dharma of the living entities. That is to say, whenever the living entity cease rendering service to the Supreme, in other words, when the living entity is too busily engaged serving his senses and there is an overindulge in sense gratification, the Lord comes. When Lord comes, when the living entity is too busy in engaged in serving his own senses or he is overindulged in the sense gratification. Prabhupada is giving example. In India, for instance, when people were overindulging in animal slaughter, Lord Buddha came to establish ahimsa, non-violence, to all living entities. Just like in yesterday's class, Srimad Bhagavatam class, we heard Madhu Pandit Prabhu was saying that to establish Dharma, Lord appears. So when the people were using no Vedas and they were slaughtering the poor animals. So to stop that, Lord Buddha appeared and he told all the living beings to abandon the Vedas. Lord Buddha came to establish ahimsa, non-violence to all living entities. Similarly, in the above quoted verse, Sri Krishna says that he comes in order to protect the sadhus. For two things, Lord Krishna comes. One is paritranaya sadhunam and vinashaya cha drushkritam. Sadhus are paritranaya sadhunam. Sadhus are for their toleration of all other living entities. Despite all inconvenience and dangers, they, they try to give real knowledge to the people in general. Sadhu's business is to give real knowledge to the people in general. A sadhu is not the friend of a particular society or community or even to the country, but is a friend of all, not only of human beings, but of animals and lower forms of life. Here's the characteristics of a sadhu. Prabhupada is mentioning who is a sadhu. Sadhu is not belong to a particular community or is not belong to a society, not is belong to country. Not only he is only for human beings, he is for animals, for lower forms, his friend for everyone. In short, sadhu is has no enemy of no one and a friend to all. Consequently, he is always peaceful. Such persons who have sacrificed everything for the Lord are very, very dear to the Lord. Although the sadhus do not mind if they are insulted, Krishna does not tolerate any insult to them. Here Prabhupada is mentioning sadhus do not mind even if they are insulted. But Krishna does not tolerate insult. The very famous example. What's the example? The example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj by Prahlad Maharaj harassed by his own father in many ways, many kinds, different ways, but still he tolerated. But Krishna not tolerated. He appeared in the form of Narsimha. So this is the example. As stated in the ninth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is alike to all, but he is especially inclined to his devotees. Is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter, text number 29. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshati na priyaha. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu chapi aham. I envy no one. Krishna is saying here, I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. Here, all means not only human beings, including birds, beasts, animals, all the unis, all the creatures. So, Krishna is saying he is equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me, unto Krishna in devotion, is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Krishna is saying here, even though he is equal, he is not partial to anyone. He envy no one, but he who renders service unto him in devotion, he is friend to him. Although Krishna is neutral to all, for one is constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, who is spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita, he gives special protection. It is Sri Krishna's promise that his devotees shall never perish. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Although Krishna is neutral to everyone, but he takes care of special gives special protection to the devotees. Prabhupada gives for example for this, no, that just like there are some 10-15 childrens and the father is equal to all the children, but he is very very affectionate. He gives the special care, special protection to his own child. Similarly, all are dear to Krishna, but Krishna specially takes care to his devotees who renders transcendental loving service unto him in Krishna consciousness. Not only does Krishna come to protect and save his devotees, but also to destroy the wicked Vinashaya cha Dushkartam. Krishna wanted to establish Arjuna and the five Pandavas, who were the most pious Kshatriyas and devotees as rulers of the world. And he also wanted to vanquish the atheistic party of Duryodhana. And as mentioned before, a third reason for his coming to establish real religion, Dharma Samsthapanarthaya. So there are three reasons. One is first and most primary reason is to protect his dear devotees. Second is to vinashaya diskritam, to destroy. And the third is to dharma samsthapanarthaya. Thus, Sri Krishna's purpose for coming is threefold. He protects his devotees, vanquishes the demons, and establishes the real religion of the living entity. He comes not only once, but many, many times. Sambhavami yuga yuga. But because this material world is such that in the course of time, after an adjustment is made, it will again deteriorate. The world is so conceived that even if we make a very good arrangement, it will gradually deteriorate. After World War One and after World War, an armistice was signed, and there was a short period of peace. But World War II soon came, and now that is over, they are making preparation for World War III. This is the function of time, Kala, in the material world. We built up a very nice house, and after 50 years, it deteriorates, and after 100 years, it deteriorates even more. Similarly, the body is young, people care for it, always lavishing affection upon it and kissing it. But when it grows old, no one cares for it. This is the nature of the material world. Even if a very good adjustment is made, it will in course of time be vanquished. Therefore, adjustments are periodically required, and from age to age, the Supreme Lord or his representative come to make adjustment in the direction of civilization. Thus, Sri Krishna descends many times to establish or rejuvenate many different religions. So here ends the chapter number 6. Now chapter is 7, knowledge as faith in Guru and surrender to Krishna. This chapter is very very important. It shows like faith on Guru and how to surrender to Krishna. This most important in our Krishna consciousness. In the fourth chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna concludes that of all sacrifices, the best is the acquisition of knowledge. Shreyan dravya mayad yajna jnana yajna parantapa sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parishamapyate. O Shastras, the enemy, the sacrifice of knowledge is greater than the sacrifice of material possessions. Hosanna Prita, after all, the sacrifice of work culminates in transcendental knowledge. Knowledge is the best sacrifice because this conditioned life is due to ignorance. The purpose of sacrifice, penance, yoga, and philosophical discussion is to acquire knowledge. There are three stages of transcendental knowledge. There are three stages of transcendental knowledge by which one realizes the impersonal aspect of God, that is called Brahman realization, the localized aspect of God within the heart and within every atom, that is second realization, Paramatma or super soul realization, and the realization of the supreme personality of Godhead, Bhagavan realization, that is ultimate, final, third one. But the very first step in acquiring knowledge is coming to understand that I am not this body. I'm spirit soul, and my aim of life is to get out of this material entanglement. The point is that whatever sacrifice we may is intended to enable us to come to the point of real knowledge. The highest perfection of knowledge is given in the Bhagavad Gita as surrender to Krishna. Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanvan Mam Prapadyate. The Jnanvan, not the fool, surrender unto Krishna. And that is the highest stage of knowledge. Similarly, at the end of Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna advises सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणम व्रज अहम तम सर्व पापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचः. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reaction. Do not fear. This is the most confidential part of knowledge. See, Prabhupada is saying this is the most confidential knowledge. There are three things. One is confidential, little more is a more confidential, and this is the ultimate, the most confidential part of knowledge. What is that? Just surrender unto Krishna, and Krishna will deliver everyone and should not fear. That is the Krishna is giving conviction. Do not fear. He will deliver you from all the sinful reaction. And this is the most confidential part of knowledge. From all points of view, if we make an analytical study of the Vedic literatures, we will find that the ultimate summit of knowledge is to surrender unto Krishna. And what type of surrender is recommended? Surrender in full knowledge. When one comes to the perfectional point, he must understand that Vasudeva, Krishna is everything. This is also confirmed in Brahma Samhita. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful, spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and he is the prime cause of all causes. The word Sarva Karana indicates that Krishna is the cause of all causes. If we search to see who the father of our father is, and who his father is, and so on back. It is where somehow possible to trace our ancestry back through time. We would arrive at the Supreme Father, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is cause for everything, cause for everyone. That's what he said. Krishna is the cause of all causes. Of course, everyone wants to see God immediately, but we can see God when we are qualified and in perfect knowledge. Here, Prabhupada is saying we can see God, but the qualification is the perfect knowledge, and we have to qualify ourselves. Just like very oftenly, Prabhupada gives an example. Let's say you are driving and you are traveling from, let's say, from Bangalore to Mysore, and in on the way your car gets stuck. So you will get down and you will open the bonnet and you will see. So you're seeing all different varieties of parts are there, but you have no qualification. You are not qualified to see what is the defect in the car, why it is not working, why it is stopped. So immediately you will call the mechanic, and the mechanic will come. He will fix one little bit, one wire here and there, some adjustment he will do, and your car will start functioning. But the same parts you are also seeing with your eyes, others also seeing, and the mechanic also is seeing. So this is most important, that one must require a qualification. Without qualification, you are seeing many parts are there in your car. The car is yours only. You are driving that car and it has got stuck. It's not working. You are seeing many parts are there, many wires are there. But when the mechanic comes, when he'll do little adjustment and the car starts working, because he is a qualified. He has got that qualification. Exactly same manner we read a qualification to see God with perfect knowledge. See here Prabhupada is mentioning we required qualification and imperfect knowledge. Then only we can see God. Otherwise, we cannot see God. We can see God eye to eye just as we are seeing one another. But qualification is required. And that qualification. So now here Prabhupada is mentioning what is the qualification. And that qualification is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness begins with Shravanam, hearing. Now I am reading from Srila Prabhupada's books. This is the transcendental literature. This is telling about who we are, what is our actual religion, dharma. This book is telling. So that is the our knowledge we are acquiring through this perfect knowledge. Here Prabhupada is mentioning one should have perfect knowledge. This is the perfect knowledge. And this is the qualification. Qualification is one should be in Krishna consciousness and one should begin with Shravanam, hearing. So all of you are hearing. So your qualification has begun. In due course of time, Prabhupada is saying we can see God eye to eye, just like we are seeing each other, like we are seeing no, our friends, families. Similarly, Prabhupada is giving a surety that we can see God eye to eye. So, qualification is Shravanam, hearing about Krishna through Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literatures. And Kirtanam, repeating what we have heard and glorifying Krishna by chanting his names. By chanting and hearing of Krishna, we can actually associate with him, for he is absolute and non different from his names, qualities, forms, and pastimes. As we associate with Krishna, he helps us to understand him and dispels the darkness of ignorance with the light of knowledge. Krishna is sitting within our hearts and acting as Guru. Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart and acting as Guru. When we begin hearing topics about Krishna, about Him, the dust which has accumulated on our minds due to so many years of material contamination becomes gradually cleansed. Krishna is a friend to everyone, but he is a special friend to his devotee. See, Prabhupada is mentioning that we should clean our mind. The mind has accumulated so much dirt because of material contamination, and this will get cleaned only with Shravanam, Kirtanam. Only with this process in Krishna consciousness we can clean. Just like in a house, suppose let's say in a house mirror will be there. The mirror has accumulated lot of dust, so we cannot see our face in that mirror. So first what we have to do? We have to clean our face. Eh? No, we have to clean the mirror to see our reflection. So when we clean the dirt, the dust from the mirror, we can see our face clearly, our reflection in the mirror. Exactly similarly, Prabhupada is mentioning here that when we clear our dirt, our mind, the dirt of material contamination, then only we can see Krishna face to face. Krishna is a friend to everyone, but he is a special friend to his devotees. As soon as we become a little inclined toward him, he begins to give favorable instructions from within our heart so that we can gradually make progress. Krishna is the first spiritual master, and when we become more interested in him, we have to go to a sadhu or holy man who serves as spiritual master from without. This is enjoined by Sri Krishna himself in the following verse. तद्विद्धि प्रणिपातेन परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदीक्षन्ति ते ज्ञानं ज्ञाननस्तत्त्वदर्शिनः. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Because the self-realized soul, a pure duty, yes, in the truth. So, what is our duty? Our duty, first thing is to approach a bona fide spiritual master. Second is inquire him, not with the grudging mode, with the submissive. And third thing is one should render service unto him. It is necessary to select a person to whom we can surrender ourselves. Of course, no one like to surrender to anyone. We are puffed up with whatever knowledge we have, and our attitude is, oh, who can give me knowledge? So, here are three things. One is we have to surrender to a bona fide spiritual master. Second thing, we have to inquire submissively. Third thing is we have to render service. But our attitude is what we are puffed up. Whatever we are little bit knowledge, with that knowledge we are puffed up, and we think, oh, who can give me a knowledge? So we will end here today's reading. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If anyone has any questions regarding today's reading, please you can ask. 5 minutes will take. I think no one has question. Okay, so you will end here. Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.